Statistics says that 1 in every 3 men will be incarcerated in their lifetime. Mass incarceration. This is just a small group. You looked at the amount of people that's in here would be incarcerated. I'm going to look at statistics. According to statistics, we're going to look at a couple factors. What are the contributing factors? I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about the effects of incarceration. And then I'm going to just look at it from a holistic view. And when I say a holistic view, I'm looking at it from a world view. Looking at it from a world view. When I look at statistics, let's look at Georgia only. 1,074 for every 100,000. The rest of the world is 155 to 100,000. Let me say that again. The rest of the world is compared to 155 individuals will be incarcerated out of 100,000. Georgia, 1,074 out of 100,000 will be incarcerated. You follow? The rest of the world, 155 out of 100,000 would be incarcerated. Georgia alone, 1,074 would be incarcerated out of 100,000. Mass incarceration. Mass incarceration. But let me go back to what my notes say now. I want to stay here. This was something when I was doing my research. It hit home. It really hit home. I'm thankful. I haven't served time. But have I been to jail? Yes, I did. Why? I was one of those 3. I had child support. I was on the job working. But there was another agenda that my ex had for me. She wanted to get me incarcerated, but I had proof that I was paying. But I did have to go do some time. I spent a night, but I didn't have to stay there. But it's not a good feeling. But I say that to say choices. He may mention choices. When you think about mass incarceration, what does incarceration mean? Imprisonment, confinement, you're in custody, captivity, internment, detention. But my mind says that we are African Americans, not African Americans. Reverse psychology says, how do I avoid that? Incarceration, the opposite of incarceration is what? Freedom. When I think about imprisonment, I think about liberty. When I see confinement, I think about my independence. When I think about custody, I think about choices. I have choices. You think about captivity, the sovereignty, internment, your lack of restriction. The kids don't have no restriction. Detention, I think about free will. So when I look at it, do we really have to live by what statistics say, right? No. Do we really have to just continue to just be confined that, hey, all of us, one of every 3 of us are going to go to prison? Do we have to stay that way? He said, well, he didn't get this form until he got to prison. Well, here's the form is right now. We have an opportunity to make a difference. What the nugget said to me this morning was what? Give up the right to be right. I'm still holding on to that, but that was for me. How do I be right? I don't have to do what society says. I don't have to be a follower. I can be a leader. I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to have to be cool. No offense, because I know this cool that he's going to talk about is the cool I want to be in. But I don't have to just be cool just to be in that little clique. Because it's all about clique. They have an agenda. 80% of the stuff that we read and we listen to, you say, I'm sorry, to read and see, that was the thing you said, that's the only way we learn. If you look at 80% of the stuff that we watch on TV is what? Bad news.
Right.
20%. Nobody's running out here to tell a story about Kevin DeMond is having this Senate. You didn't hear that on the news, did you?
Yeah.
But I heard about an 8-year-old boy, a little kid down there in Florida, and I saw it last night. Walked into a convenience store wearing a helmet. Went in there and said, "Give me that effing money." At 8 years old. When they see that, they look at the history. They say that I'm gonna look and say I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of about several $100 million it takes that they bill in prison because it's a business now.
It is.
That's what they're doing. Why? And who's running those businesses? Or who owns them? Corporate. You got to look at it. Look. So when we look at stuff, we look at it sometime like this. Take off your blinders and look at the bigger picture, the agenda. They're trying to make money off us. Because they look at your track record. Your track record shows that out of every kid, he's 8 years old already. His track record shows he's on his way to prison. What do we do different? I'm looking at it and I thank God for the opportunity to sit here. And when I traveled, I remember him a year ago, but to see him, he's still passionate about what he's doing in his family. His faith has gotten stronger. I don't know why I'm saying it, but I just want to say, the mass incarceration, he's not going down that path no more. He's trying to lead others away from where he went. What do? We pay it forward. We got to pay it forward. So we look at it, so the trends say that the number of people incarcerated in America has quadrupled, roughly 500,000 to 2.3 million people. Today, the U.S. is 5% of the world's population and has 25% of the world's prisons. That's America now. Combining the number of people in prison and jail with those under parole and probation, because even when you're on parole, he said he put him on parole for what, 13 plus years? Think about that. You can't do. You got to look at a bigger picture. When they say peel back the onion and look at really what's really going on. You say race. I want to hit on this one. About 14 million whites. And they're trying this. 14 million whites and 2.6 million African Americans report using illegal drugs. 5 times. That's 5 times as many white people are using drugs as it is the blacks. Right? You see that? You see where I'm going with this now? But African Americans represent 12% of the total population of drug users. But 38% of those arrested for drug offense and 59% of those are in state prison for drug offense. African Americans serve virtually as much time in prison for a drug offense as a white that does violent offense.
That's right.
These are statistics now. And I'm not just making this up. I'm not just making, and I'm careful about what I read on the internet. I just don't read. I go back and dig down because I want to look and read it for myself. And I'm pretty good, you know, because you got to be careful because sometimes they put stuff out there on the internet for you to see, catch a hold to, and they reel you in. Right? You know, you got to be mindful. You know, he blesses with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Why? Because he wants me to listen much. He wants you to listen twice as much as you speak. You got to be able to listen. I'm learning. Why you think I feel bit rough? I'm learning. Iron sharpens iron. And I'm not just looking at what they say, but you got to look at it from the inside. He's telling you, he's feeding me from the inside out. Because it started with the mind. I heard him say he ain't his son. You know, even with the daughters. I have 2 daughters. And I raised them the best I could. Yeah, they are successful. But they still know that I'm still the head. Because God made man as the head. And even with her boyfriend and I tell them all, I want you to be successful. I want you to be. But at the same time, you got to stay in order. There's an order. There's a divine order in order for you to get back in. So you got to stay true to his order, not just mine. So what are the effects of the incarceration? Jail reduces work time for young people over the next decade by 25 to 30%, as compared with the rest of you who are not incarcerated. Jails and prisons are recognized as a setting where society affects diseases are highly concentrated. Prison has not been proven as a rehabilitation for behavior, as 2/3 of the prison will be, one word I want to use, reoffending. Mass incarceration. Mass incarceration. Repeat offenders. Mass incarceration. About $70 billion are spent on corrections yearly. Prisons and jail consumes a growing portion of nearly $200 billion we spend annually on public safety. Mass incarceration. What is the solution? What is the solution? What do we do different? How do we avoid that? How do we avoid that? Mass incarceration. I want to come to a close because I'm really, when they talk about that mass, you got choices. And it's all about what we do with the knowledge that we have. And when I look at the setting here, I think last year, we were somewhere at about 10 guys in here. And I look at the effects of this, and I look and I give compliments to Kevin DeMond. This is Black History Month. They talked about the person that making the air conditioning. They talked about, blacks got his hand in everything. But where's the family? I look out and I'm like, we can make a difference. We can, but it starts here. It starts in these small settings. I want to be a differentiator. Oh my God. We are peculiar people. What makes us different? We are. We don't have to have that statistic. That's what statistics says. If you feed into this, you get caught up in there. Mass incarceration. I don't want to see that. What do we do different?